everyone watching, these guys are experts. Basically, they've got years of experience. And so let's ask them, who is Mentor Securities and what types of services you offer so that people can understand why you're experts and why they should listen to the rest of this interview.
Okay, thank you, Emily. Well, Mentor Securities is an investment bank. We're actually a broker-dealer that is a FINRA broker-dealer. So the SEC is our monitoring body. So we have to report to the SEC, which makes us a lot more circumspect in the things that we do. We really have three different services. The first is the sell side, second is buy side, and the third is capital raise. On the sell side, we're pretty much industry agnostic. So we're experts in a lot of different industries, but we're not focused on one or two industries alone. We work with companies, revenues of roughly 15 million to up to 300 million. And we like a minimum of 3 million of EBITDA. That is on the sell side. On the buy side, we work with strategic buyers or private equity firms, whether we're buying for a new platform or an add-on to their current platform, let's say the private equity firms. So we will go and do targeted searches. But in both the buy side and the sell side, our fees are developed through two things. One, we're retained. So we have an upfront advisory fee. And secondly, we have a success fee. Now, the third service is capital raises. We're looking to companies that want to raise about 5 million and above. 50 would be nice too. It's a similar program where we're retained and then we get a success fee. We're looking for companies that have traction and they're looking for growth capital, either to grow their business or to make strategic acquisitions.
An executive summary for those of us who maybe don't have as much experience is that Mentor Securities helps businesses create a fair market valuation and prepare for sale and find buyers. So if you were, let's just pretend you owned a house, everyone understands what a real estate agent might be, but a real estate agent just helps you sell. So Mentor Securities does that, but they also can help you figure out how much it's worth, which, you want smart people on your side when you're trying to figure out how to get the best value for your business. So that's what Mentor Securities can provide for someone. And that brings me to this next, the last question that I want to ask you is, if someone is hearing this interview and feels maybe that Mentor Securities is the right person for them to possibly work with, do you want to just clarify who your best client is or what the right fit for you guys is? Because there's lots of people out there who can handle very small businesses, very large businesses, and kind of just repeat the right customer for you and how that person could reach out for you when they're ready to hire Mentor Securities.
Well, the easiest way is obviously to go to the website, and there's a form on the website that they could fill out, or they can contact you directly, Emily, and you can put them in touch with us. The first part of the question was
who would be the right fit? Because I can tell you, I have some customers, for example, who don't have $3 million in EBITDA yet, and but they would like to sell. There may be, someone who's in the $1 million range, because what I want people to understand is that lots of different investment banks and M&A valuation companies, and you should go to one that is going to be a good fit for you. So,
well, like we discussed before, we want to talk to that company that's $1 million in EBITDA, because probably what we'd start with would be an overall business valuation and identify the issues that are going to come up that they need to clean up to drive value upward. Okay, whether it's having great intellectual property or having a better management team or whatever it is, or branding. Those are the types of things in the valuation process that we can identify. So yeah, no, we don't exclude those companies. We do a lot of valuations of companies that don't even have $1 million in EBITDA that might be thinking down the road of selling.
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to add to later on to what Davis mentioned about the $1 million EBITDA businesses, we get quite a bit of inbound inquiries from private equity groups that we have relationships with on an ongoing basis. Also strategics. So strategics are okay. They're okay looking at smaller businesses, including the PE. They're looking to make add-on acquisitions. So not so much critical as to there's got to be a minimum of 3 or 5 million of minimum EBITDA. So we'd rather look at the opportunity on on the whim, and there could be a fit because we're in constant communication in the corporate world, and you never know. So we'd rather look at it and give you some input and possibly assist versus not even knowing about the opportunity.
Well, that's true. And it may be an industry where we've got special private equity firms that are actually looking for $1 million EBITDA company. So we might even decide if it's worthwhile and the client is okay of taking that client on. I mean, when we say 3 million of EBITDA, that's an ideal. 3 million and up, that's an ideal. But there's some really nice companies that do $1 million of EBITDA that could be sold. So Eric's right. We'll look at a lot of opportunities.
And oftentimes you want to have a relationship with someone even before you're ready. So let's just say
Yes.
you're going to do it in 8 years, 5 years. Like, why not reach out, make a relationship, an introduction, kind of get a preliminary idea whether or not it's a good fit right now or not.
Right.
And then you maybe, a couple of years down the road, and I've written growth plans with clients before. We said, okay, in 8 years, they will take on venture capital money. And the plan that we wrote, they followed it exactly. And it literally happened because they had a lot of work to do. They were in a different position.
Right.
They weren't ready for sale. And I've worked with other clients where they were ready to sell within 2 years, and we wrote a plan and they followed it, and they were ready to come and talk.
And we help a lot of companies, like Eric was mentioning, even smaller companies, with that exit plan and bring in experts like yourself, because they need to be surrounded by different experts that will clean up certain areas of the business. And it's all about driving value in the eye of the buyer. That's all it is at the end of the day.
Man, that's a beautiful capstone to close out our video, because we always talk about going from start to sold, and it's the value to the end user that we always want to be communicating, whether it's doing a day-to-day sale or selling our entire company. So I appreciate that you closed with that. Very well done. We didn't even coordinate that. So for everyone watching, just thank you guys for your time. I want to thank you, Davis and Eric, for joining us today.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, and everyone feel free to reach out. You can even add Eric and Davis on LinkedIn just to follow their articles and open a relationship if you want. Or if you're interested in following up, go to mentorsecurities.com to read more about them and peruse and snoop. And you can also leave questions in the comments. We welcome that. We'd love to hear what other things you were confused about, what part you absolutely loved, and what other things you'd like to learn about more in the future. So thank you, everyone. I hope this helped you to go from start to sold.